Hello and welcome to the Blessings in the Streets podcast. I am your host, Joseph B. Roberts, and in studio with me today are two beautiful women that I have known for well over 35 years. We went to elementary school together, and they've decided to reconnect with me and be on the podcast today to just share a little bit about their journey with us and letting you know that no matter what difficult times may come your way, that there's always hope and possibilities for redemption and overcoming and still allowing God to use you in a mighty way. So without any further ado, I would like to welcome to the show Miss Monica Tipton and Miss Menindo Hood. Ladies, thank you for being with me today. It's a
Thank,
pleasure having you.
You're welcome.
All
thank you.
right.
Thank you for
Great.
having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's great to see your faces. Of course, I see you all the time on social media, but just to hear your voices and everything because we haven't had a chance to hang out in a minute. So it's great to be there, be with you in this moment today. So, with that said, before we jump into our show, I would like to give each of you an opportunity to just introduce yourselves to the audience, just to say a little bit about where you're from, what you do, that kind of thing. So I'll start with you, Menendo. Just tell us a little bit about
I
yourself.
get out so much. I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. Right now, I'm a TMA. I'm attached at a treatment facility. Yeah, my way of giving back to to um to help others, and been doing it for almost 4.5, well, 3.5, almost 4 years. And again, like I said, great way to give back to people like me.
Awesome, awesome. All right, all right. And Monica, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm Monica Tipton. I currently live in Calumet City, Illinois, a little small suburb of Chicago. And right now, my role is property advocate, but I work for a nonprofit agency. It's called Facing Forward to End Homelessness, and we help homeless people find housing. And I mean, I like it. I've been doing it as like you said, going on 4 years too. I've been there 3.5 years. But this is like the third nonprofit I've worked in the past 15 years. And so I enjoy it. But my goal in the end is to try to open up my own transitional home for women.
Nice, nice. That's beautiful. I mean, just right off the bat, you all are, just impressive in the sense that you're doing works that are about helping other people in need.
Yeah.
And whether it's in a treatment facility, whether it's homelessness, that's a beautiful thing, and you have to have a special kind of heart to do that kind of work. So, thank you for sharing that. Um, as with any journey in life
For
that you're
sure.
on, when you think about our life journeys and the challenges that go with it, you can't really tell the whole focus and perspective of a journey unless you go back to the beginnings. And so, what I'd like for each of you to do, if you would, just kind of briefly tell us what was it like for you growing up? What was your childhood like, both in the home as well as just externally? So, I'll jump back to you, Monica. Just kind of tell us what was it like growing up, Monica?
Um, well, I mean, honestly, back then as a kid, I thought it was great, but now growing up as an adult and just seeing how my life went as of to how I am now, I would have had some things different. But overall, I grew up a single parent household, only child, never really wanted for anything. My mother was an entrepreneur. She was a hairstylist and she had a couple of beauty salons that she owned. And my father was a Chicago police officer, but we didn't have to. We were like estranged. And now I can see growing up, I needed my father in my life, and he wasn't there. He was there monetarily, like I could call it anytime, go get money, pick up a check, but we didn't have a relationship. I never was the one like go over my father's house on the weekend. Like he never came and picked me up and did anything, took me nowhere. It was always me and my mother. And I mean, I had uncles, I had men in my life and stuff like that, but they wasn't the best role models because all my uncles were uh uh had substance abuse issues. But they I knew they loved me, or whatever. But now I needed that relationship with my father, and I know that now because as a result, I picked the wrong men in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because as a girl, that's supposed to be the first man you love, your father. And I didn't have that. So honestly, now looking back, I wish I had it because I probably would. made some different choices in life by having him be full in my life 100%. But I
Okay.
mean, other than that, I mean, childhood was pretty good.
That's good. That's good. And I appreciate your transparency in that and just reemphasizing the importance of the father being in the life of his child. In particular, you being a daughter in this case. I think
Mm-hmm.
about being a father of my own daughter, and I
Exactly.
and I can't imagine what life would be like not being there, not having that connection. So to any fathers that have an opportunity to tune in, this is just let this message be a reaffirmation of why it's necessary for you to be in your child's life, regardless of whether or not you and the child's
Yeah.
mother are still in relationship with each other. So thank you for sharing that. And Menindo, I want to ask you the same thing. Tell us a little bit about what childhood like was for you.
Okay, well, my situation. So we grew up. All of us went to the same grammar school. My childhood was it was a single parent home, but my mom was a alcoholic.
Mm.
So with that being said, I went to school every day, played basketball. I, you know, hung out. But I don't know if I'm moving too fast and what I'm about to say. But my my life spiraled before I even saw it. You know, I I grew up in the heart of Chicago in the projects and everything. But my schooling and everything. After I'm trying to see how can I put this. I didn't mind growing up was cool. Mother alcoholic. I had two brothers, one sister. You know, which they took care of me basically. So up until I got grown, I had a slow thing with the boys. I really wasn't too much into the boys until I got to my adulthood, actually, into when my life spiraled. And when it spiraled. And it took me to just turned 43. It took me to the age of 47 to turn my life around. And so I'm just glad I'm able to I'm here to able to and I might get a little emotional because I don't share a lot. So yeah, that's
It's
it.
okay.
I had a decent childhood.
Okay. And
I had a
again,
decent childhood.
okay, that's great. And again, I appreciate your transparency in that just right out the gate. I mean, you both have clearly made it known that childhood, while there was some things to celebrate and be thankful for, that there were some challenges, some things that you were missing, some things environmentally that if had that presence been there, it might have shifted maybe how things went as you approached into your adulthood life. So let's pick up on that. And I'm gonna jump back to you real quick, Monica. Here. You said, "Hey, I wish my dad was around." And
Mm-hmm.
while you did have male figures around, they unfortunately, while they did show love to you, they also had their own individual challenges and things like that, and that led to, you know,
Exactly.
maybe not the best decisions, whether it was with men or just other life choices. So, the question I have for you is, tell us a little bit about that point in your life, that journey in your life where you were faced with something that what this was deeper, this was bigger than just normal bumps in the road type stuff. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get through this. What was that situation like for you, and how did you navigate your way through it?
Mm. Ooh, that could be many things. To be honest with you, but I want to say probably like maybe like I want to say like my teenage years, probably somewhere around up in there. As I was stating before, trying to build that relationship with my father. I can remember him being at our eighth grade graduation. I can definitely remember him being there. But coming out of high school, like I remember him telling me he was busy. He couldn't come see me graduate like that. That kind of like broke my soul. But I mean, I managed to get through. My mother always told me she got enough love inside her for him and for her, for me if that makes sense. You
Mm-hmm.
know, she would tell me like, don't worry about it. Like you can't make nobody wanna be with you or love you or nothing like that. But at the end of the day, I'm like, that's my father. Like I ain't never done nothing to him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, to be honest with you, I don't even think I ever really got past it and still wrestling with it to this day because we're estranged now. I haven't actually seen him in 23 years. And
Oh.
I found him 6 months before my mother died. So I found him in 2014 and found out he lives down south. So right now we communicate by telephone a couple times a year, you know, Christmas, birthdays. And once again, he sends a check and that's that. So I seek therapy now, you know,
Mm.
as a result of this stuff. So my therapist, because I'm still, even though I'm 53 years old, I still had that respect factor. Like I wouldn't curse in front of him. I wouldn't talk back. Still, I want to this day. So my thing, what I need to do in order for me to heal, I think I'm gonna just write him a letter and mail it to him to get this stuff off my chest because it really bothers me still to this day. Like I have a whole sister that I never even met, and I asked him when was I gonna meet her. He told me when the time is right. Well, when that's gonna be? Because I'm
Mm.
53, she 57, and you like 84. You know, that kind of hurt growing up not having any siblings. But I got cousins, I have friends, I have god sisters and brothers. So, you know, I'm like swarmed with love. But um that is a piece to the puzzle of my life that's missing that I need to get past. And just with prayer and meditation, like I that's what I do. That works for me, you know. But I started to spiral in college. After leaving Beasley, went to Whitney Young for 3 years. We moved to this house I'm in now in Calumet City. So I graduated from Thornwood. Didn't go to college right away. I waited 2 years because I worked. Um, but my father being from Mississippi, I went from to JSU. And that's when I started using in college and did that for 20 years. So I stopped at 40. 13 years ago.
Now,
And
when you
I don't
say,
know what happened. It was just, I don't know.
I
Go
didn't mean
ahead.
to, I didn't mean to
Go
interrupt you. I
ahead.
just wanted to specify when you say that you started using, what specifically did you end up started? What did you
Oh,
end up
so
using?
okay. So for me personally, I was smoking Primo. So that's like crack cocaine mixed with marijuana. And
Okay.
then sometimes I would mix it with like cigarette tobacco. So I did that from the age of 20 to the age of 40. Actually, yeah, 20. 20. I started using in college. And I, as a result of that, I didn't finish college. Like I end up withdrawing, dropping out, came back home for the summer, went back the next semester. I couldn't even. When I got back the next semester, I was like trying to find the stuff back down there. So what I did, I stayed in Mississippi for like a week. I had my tuition check. I had everything. I stayed down there for a week. Then I drove back home, and I was just living in Chicago. And my mother thought I was in school. So I
Mm.
ended up calling her, telling her I wasn't in school, and she let me come back home. But she was like, "You got to get a job or something." But I couldn't keep a job at that time. I was already full blown gone. Like I was gone. I was out there. And at first, it was kind of like social, you know, on the weekends or whatever, a little bit. But you know, and then it kind of spiraled and went out of control. Like I've been to treatment 5 different times. The first time I went, I was 23. The last time I went, I was 40, and I had to go because courts got involved, in and out of jail. But I was just getting like a slap on the wrist, like they'll let me get right out, or the bond would be $100. So somebody would always come and get me out. It was nothing. And the last time I went, I was 40. And like I said, I'm like, you 40, you still doing this? So I told my
Okay.
mom, I'm like, and this time the bond was not $100. The bond was like more. So I told her, don't come get me. Like I'm tired. Like I've been doing this stuff for 20 years. I didn't let my whole life pass me by. You know, I'm seeing my peers with decent jobs and doing this and doing that. And I would always enroll in somebody's school just to get the little check. And then as soon as I get the check from school, I would withdraw from school, so I don't have that many credits, but I'm just grateful that I got enough common sense that I was able to. The job that I have now didn't require me to have a degree, so but I'm working on that as well. But yeah, that it was rough for me. I end up spending like 8 months in the county jail, and that was an eye opening because like the first time I went, I only spent one night. The second time I went, I was there for like 17 days. The third time, that's when I did the 8 months. But I kept telling my mom, "Don't bond me out. I got to do this." So at the last court date, they offered me like a year in prison. And well, you might not know, Joseph, but they have these. I call them like jail lawyers, like the other inmates in there, and they trying to tell you what to do with your case and this and that. So they'll be like, "Well, Monica, girl, go on and take that year. You done already done like 6, 7, 8 months in here. You are just gonna dress in, dress out." I'm like, because I don't want that number. I don't want that jail number. I don't want that number, that X on my back. At least I know if I take this probation, I can possibly get my record expunged. So I took this
Yeah.
probation. It's called IOP, intensive probation, and I had to see the probation people twice a week. They could come to my house at any time. I had to drop on a regular. In the beginning, I made some meetings at first, but I was still dipping and dabbing. I'm not even about to lie because I found out the days they was gonna drop me. And anybody know cocaine only be in your system 3 days. So if I knew I was gonna drop on a Thursday, I would drop Thursday, then I would go get high right after I dropped, and then I would wait 3 days because they would drop me again, so I wouldn't get high during that time. But it ended up catching up with me, and I had a dirty drop, and the officers was like, "You got two choices: you can go to jail, or you can go get you a bed at a treatment center." So that's what I did. So this was my fifth time going to treatment. And I always went to the same place. It's a little place. I can't even think the little suburb, but it's called South Suburban Council. And I went there. I did my little 28 days. I got out. Soon as I got out, I went and made a meet. Like I'm like it's gonna stick this time. It's got to because I'm too old for this. So I made the meeting, and
Yeah.
my clean date was July. I want to say no. I'm lying. It was June 12th of 2010. Um, so I made the meetings or whatever. I even had my birthday in there. Got out super clean and everything. And I did this. I made meetings. I ended up getting a sponsor in the beginning, the first 3 months, but I relapsed from for about 2 months. So now my clean date is November 24th, 2010. And I haven't looked back
Okay.
from that day on.
That's beautiful.
And now every now and then, because NA definitely helped me, and I had a sponsor. But then I moved and this and that, but I never picked up again. But after my mother died, which was 9 years ago, I picked up a cocktail. So every once and again, I indulge in a cocktail or two, but like I'm never going back to crack. Like quack, as Whitney could say, crack is whack. And I know if I
Okay.
do, I won't have the things that I've accomplished. I won't have my home. I won't have my job. I won't have my car. I won't be able to live my nice little lifestyle that I enjoy and travel and this and that. So,
Mm.
I just can't do it no more. It's been too much. It took me down like places I never want to go, like prostitution, being homeless, walking the streets. Like I can remember an occasion walking the streets at 2:30 in the morning, and my mother saw me out there. Like it was so embarrassing. She was coming from the casino late at night, and she pulled up on me like, "What are you doing?" It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like I couldn't even answer her. Like I've stolen from her, but she was always my biggest cheerleader. It's so many stories that I could tell, but I'm getting emotional too because I just wish she was here now to see what great work that I'm doing. But gratefully, She passed when I was 4 years clean. So she saw all that. Like she saw the beginning of it. But it's been 13 years now, and I'm the best that I could ever be in my life. And my next goal is just to go back to school and get that degree, because I got 2 credits at this school, 2 credits at that school, so
Hmm.
get my associates and then go back and get my bachelor's. I hope that answered your
Wow.
question, because I
It,
ramble on and
oh
on.
no, no, no. I mean, and I wasn't gonna stop you because I want you to get out whatever you feel like you want to get out, and I'm just again thank you for your transparency. Thank you for sharing that because I mean people need to know not so much about what you went through, but to understand that you can go through something like this, but still come out from it and still be able to be used by God. And
Yeah,
that's this
because
whole journey hasn't been nothing but God being on your life. He kept your mother around long enough to
exactly.
say, see you get clean, to see you redeem, to be to be refreshed, to be renewed.
Yes.
So that's an
But
awesome
not only
thing.
that, he kept me from like I supposed to be dead right now. I already know it. Like I can remember walking the streets doing all type of stuff. I'm supposed to be dead. Like I could have HIV, anything, using no condoms, nothing. All for one more. I can remember going in men's pockets while I'm down on my knees, going in their pockets, taking their money. Like I'm supposed to been dead, but I'm here, and I'm grateful. Because a lot of people, they don't make it out on the other side. I got an uncle right now to this day. He's still in his addiction, but I love him. And I was enabling him because I know what it is. I've been through that, but I'm like, Unc, I can't let you borrow no more money. Like I can't do that. And he be so far gone. It's like, if you let me borrow 20, I'll give you back 100 when I get my check. But the addict in me say, yeah, because I'm at the end of the day, I'm still an addict. I'm just not using. But the addict in me is greedy and want the $100 for the $20. But then my conscience had to tell me, girl, that's your uncle. Like better yet, tell him don't even loan it to him. If you want to give him $20, tell him go wash your car or something. So now he'll wash my car, or I'm like, you can earn it, but I'm not about to loan you that, because I know how it was for me. Like I done been beat up about drugs, knocked out for stealing people's stuff. Like I don't want to live like that. I don't want to go through that. At
Mm.
my point in my life, I thought I was going to be like 65, 70 with a cane walking up to the car saying, baby, can I get 2 for 15? Like, I don't, who does that? Like, it's got to end at some point. So, I mean, if I could go back, I would have never picked up. I don't see some people say, oh, well, this got me where I am today. Man, look, I would have never picked up. Honestly, I know I wouldn't. And I can remember seeing my uncles like in the 80s, because I started in 91. I can remember seeing my uncles in the 80s tell them, why do y'all do that? That's horrible. That's horrible. Then next thing you know, I'm doing it 5 years later. I disappointed my whole family because I was the first grandchild to graduate high school. I was the first one to attend college. Didn't finish, but the first to attend. And everybody held me up on a pedestal this high. So in the beginning, I got high with my aunts and uncles, because I was just like, well, look, I don't want to get it from nobody else because I don't know what's out here. But at first, they used to take advantage of me because they knew I had money. So if something cost $20, no, if something cost $10, they would tell me it cost 20 to try to beat me out my money. To then I got slick on them. So yeah, 20 years of being out there doing that stuff, you gonna know some stuff yourself. So like I said, I'm just grateful. I done been like kicked out of cars and all type of stuff. So I'm just grateful to be here. And thank you for having me and letting me share my journey.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you doing that. I know you only have a short time with us today, but I thank you so much for your pouring out and sharing that because, like I said, we never know who's going to have an opportunity to listen to today's show and who you might touch, whose life you might have just saved in just sharing that journey. So I thank you so much for that. And before I let you go, because I know you got to get off, what would be any last words that you might have to
Oh wait,
anybody who
let me
might be
just add.
listening? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. That like everybody think. people on drugs just nasty and dirty, or they from the gutter, or they ain't have nothing. Like that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not true at all. Like y'all know, I didn't never want for nothing in school. So, I had a good upbringing. Went to the best schools, but yeah, people just assume, oh, they don't have nothing, or they dirty, or they from the projects, or they from this.
Yeah.
That's not true. It's so many people out here that's just so messed up, and sometimes it be some of the ones that's a little bit more privileged than others. They
Mm-hmm.
end up getting hooked on this stuff, whatever. And I just want to share that's not true. Like everybody don't have to be what's the word I want to say? I guess low class to be on drugs, because that's
Poverty
that's not
level.
true. That's not true at all.
Right.
Like,
And I'm glad you pointed that out
yeah,
because
yeah.
addiction
That's
addiction doesn't have a profile. It's not a black or white thing. It's not a rich or poor thing. It's not what
exactly,
neighborhood you live in or anything like that. Nope. A lot of people
exactly.
may not know that. Like I said, we all talked about we went to school together. We were attending what was at that time the best public school in the city.
School in
Each in
Chicago,
Chicago.
especially on the south side.
This was a school that was in a black neighborhood where you had, where traditionally you would have black kids getting bused to white schools. You had white kids getting bused to a black school, because the excellence
That's
of
the
the
art school,
education.
right?
It was a reverse type of thing. So, anybody is watching, understand both of these ladies that's on this show today telling their story. These are by no means are they intelligently lacking, not knowing, some things about life and how to anything about class or standards of excellence or anything like that. They came up like that as children, and still have much of that is still resonating within both of you today. So I'm glad you point that out, because I hate when we get to stereotyping and just thinking, oh, passing these judgments on people when you just never know. People just have trauma, things that just things have gone on in their lives. You spoke very heavily earlier in the conversation about absence of dad. I'm no counselor, but I think that very much played a role in perhaps you even considering indulging in the first place, because it's sometimes a way of acting out and trying to tap into what can I be soothed by to deal with whatever pain that's inside that I'm not processing yet. I mean, you spoke earlier about going into therapy, but that was in your adult years. But you already know back in the day, and particularly in our community, therapy wasn't a
Yep.
thing that we talked about doing or anything like that. We were told to to be tough about it. Suck it up. Pull it together. You
Right.
be all right.
Definitely
You
not.
you wasn't talked about. We didn't have people that we were going to and paying for that kind of stuff. It just wasn't a thing. So for you to
We
get through
swept it
what
under the table.
exactly. So for you to have gotten through what you've gotten through up to this point and still God is using you, just lets me know that God was involved in it all along, and perhaps you had to go through some of this so that you could be a blessing later in life to not only for yourself but to other people. You're able to use your story on
But to
platforms like
others.
this and to help others who are going through challenging times. They're going to look to you, somebody who you thought wouldn't even be here today, but you're still here today with an opportunity to bless, to pour into, to uplift, to encourage. And so we give God all the glory for that. And I'm thankful that He kept you around, because you are a good person. You are a beautiful
So
woman.
am
I'm
I.
glad He
So
kept
am
you.
I.
So we can have this opportunity to be talking and to see your smile again. The same smile I see today, I can immediately picture that same smile from 8th grade. It's not changed. It's always been there. It just has
Exactly.
some rough patches along. Same way with Menendo. Same pretty face, same pretty smile. Just been through some stuff. We all been through some stuff. Your journey may not be my journey may not be yours, but nobody's immune from the storms of life. It's just what it is. So, again, I appreciate and thank you so much for your transparency and sharing that. That's powerful and is definitely needs to be said and needs to be heard by so many people, so many hurting people in our world. So, thank you so much for that. And you're welcome, of course, to stay on the show as long as you can before you have to duck out. But I definitely wanted
Now
to give you an
I'm
opportunity to say what you needed to say. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
now I'm good. They just text me and said the flight was delayed about 45 minutes. So I'm
Won't,
I'm
won't, he,
good.
won't he do it? See, God said He needed you to stay on a little bit longer and hang out so we can be a supportive
Won't he
force.
will?
There we go. There we go. And I'm glad you're able to stay because I want to, just like and that's part of the reason why I put both of you on together because it's an opportunity to support one another, to be there so you don't feel like, again, you don't have to go through this thing alone.
Exactly.
You have support even after all these years. We haven't physically been in the same space at the same time in a very long time, but we've never been disconnected from each other. We're still here for one another. So I'm a shift gears back to you, Menendo, and just ask you, tell us about what that time was in your life, this difficult period in your life where you weren't sure if you were going to make it through, but by the grace of God, you're here today. You're here to tell that story. You're here to serve others in that capacity. Kind of share with us a little bit about what that journey was like for you.
Okay. Okay. My story. We have similarities in this addiction process, but for me, my mom was a alcoholic, and my dad was fairly there, but I was too. I didn't see no way out, and I don't want to. I want to stay. I don't want to use no harsh words. But I didn't see no way out because when my mom passed, started off. My addiction started uh, high school. I didn't finish high school. I was I was just I was drinking, smoking the joints. Uh, when I found out when my mom passed, I was at the table. I couldn't get up from the table. I was a full blown crackhead. It my life spiraled way before I even picked up. Uh, my childhood. I have a sister and two brothers. Could you imagine living all of that time thinking you all had the same father? I was the only one, the darkest one, the one that got teased all the time. I found out I didn't have the same father as my siblings had. So growing up, I don't to this day I don't know what I can't tap into what led me to get high. I just thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. But look, from that weed, uh, you come to the cut. If you know anything about using, well, from the reaper and drinking went to the hardcore drug, the uh, the two nutter powder. I'm just gonna break it down. The two nutter powder. From the powder, I went from the powder to the primo. From the primos to smoking crack. And each one of those phases, the person thought, for me, I thought I was better than a person when I was just shooting the powder, better than a person who did crack cocaine. From then, you all, I might be rambling because I'm skipping around. I just know my life. I did that for 25 years, from the age of 20, started with the primos to the full blown crack. For 27, 20 something plus years. And look, for each one of those years, it's 365 days out of a year. I may not got high five of those, 50 of those days out of a year. I was always there in my adult years resting and dressing, dressing and dressing. But then, the, so gone, I've been to the penitentiary twice. Never thought that I would be working at a treatment facility for women because I couldn't see my way. I couldn't see no way. I thought, let me tell you something. I thought when they told me Glow, my mama had died, may she rest in peace. Birthday was this July 19th. When they told me she died, I'm sitting at the table. I'm getting high in. I didn't get up for 2 days later. My mama gone. She was another Chicago Heights. So a lot of things I went through because there is no such thing as a functional addict. Cause I know right now, if I pick up right now, y'all, if I drink a beer, and the addict in me won't me to do that, because I know, Joseph, for real. If I drink a beer, or right now, I have 3 years coming up, July 24th. Now get this, I've been clean. Like, look, it tell me that I got 2 clean days, but you only got 1 clean day. I stopped using crack November the 30th, 2017. But I had a slip. I drunk me a cocktail that took my clean day. I was preparing to get my 3 years clean, November of 20. So I'm coming up on 3 years of clean from everything. I had a slip out, because I know alcohol is a drug. But for me, the addict in me tell me from time to time, oh, it's not gonna hurt me. And I'm not strong like some people right now, because I do know I can revert back to my old ways at any time. Because if nothing changed, nothing changed. So for me, the penitentiary, that didn't stop me. And look, I had to stop, found out I was pregnant. In the joint, in the penitentiary. My son would be 20 years old. Hey, look, it didn't stop me. The addiction didn't stop. Look, I'm at the sink. I'm still getting high. My water broke. Son lived from March 5th to March 29th. He died. And it's like I didn't keep my end of the bargain. It's not that, because you don't bargain with God, but I was like, God, let my son be okay. I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit serving. I'm going to quit selling. I'm going to quit using. One night I got finished. I'm going to lay down. My baby laying in the bed dead as a doorknob. But that didn't stop my addiction. It took me what? Maybe 15 years of still using, walking the street all times of the night. And maybe the things that I'm saying now, it's some things that I just need to get off my chest. Walking the street all kinds of the night, getting stopped by the police. Wait, where you going? To the store? Let me see your money. I ain't got a dime. I got 2 daughters, 30, 35, be 35 and 33, July 25th, when the other one August 22nd. Been my right hand, never left my side. But sometimes kids like, ain't you tired of that? Ain't you tired of that? Girl, look, give me the money. Preach later. I'll be right back. I I'm happy to say God has never, out of through it all, God has never left me. I left him. He has never left me. I have slept on your couch, your couch. I'm able to click my own lights off, on and off today. I never had credit or anything, but I went to treatment one time, no, twice. But I came down to Minnesota chasing a guy. It was a long distance trip. I get the money, I go back to Chicago. But this last time I came in 2017, man, God found me a bed and I ain't looked back. I never thought I'd be working at a treatment center after 20 some years. But I'm okay. My life is comfortable. I got some work to do. I got work to do because I'm right now I'm procrastinating because I'm still in NA. And yeah, if you don't know, you gotta work steps. Like again, I said, if nothing changed, nothing
Yes.
changed. But grateful. I'm grateful for the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. That's what I go through. I'm grateful for the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous because I make a meeting until they make sense. When I'm having a bad day, I call. I don't, you know, I don't want to call them women, but I do call somebody because the addict is in me that lives in me won't is strong. It gets stronger each day I don't use. I make meetings and I thank my higher power every day before my feet even hit the floor. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for letting me see another day. God right now is what's sustaining me from using. Without God, I just got on my knees. That God the words to say because hey, you know what? You know I'll be cracking jokes. I was really like, you see how the phone was messing up. I said, God damn, that's my cue. I ain't gotta get on. I ain't, I ain't gotta do this. But if like I work in a treatment center, if I can help one person that's a great satisfaction to me because the addicts I pray for them because you get some people that come in my job, you sign them in, and you look, turn your head, they go on out the door. Have God help them find their way. So with that being said, I know I've been rambling, but I'm using this to get things off my chest. I got grandchildren. Uh, I got sisters and brothers. I got a sister that I haven't spoke to in 3 years. Before that, we didn't speak for 13 years. I just let it go. I gave it to God and let it go. I done rest out to her. And that's my only sister besides my stepsister. My sister by my mom. You know, uh, you try to discredit, oh, you think because you clean this and that. No, you want somebody to still be begging. No. I have a voice today. I have a voice today, even with the kids. You want to talk crazy to me? No, I'm not high today. And the phone is about to click right about now. You know, I don't take the things that I would take as if I was used. You can't say what you want to say to me today. And I have some fear of driving. I could have had about 9 cars out, but I'm scared. I ask God to help me strengthen my faith. Give me the courage. I'm just that's one of my biggest fears, people, is driving. So
Mm.
glad Joseph you gave me the opportunity because I missed it. I had a meeting. I missed the meeting yesterday. I'm glad you gave me this opportunity to share. I mean, because I'm only sick as my secrets. And the last week or so, you know, the birthday month, the monkey been on my back, but I get to rid myself of all the garbage of what's holding me because I can't go back. I can't go back. Uh, thank y'all. I'm gonna be quiet,
No, no, no.
but
Thank,
I'm so grateful.
no, thank
I'm
you.
grateful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Again, your transparency, you're speaking from the heart. Um, thank you for just pouring out the way that you did. I mean, again, another powerful message, both of you ladies, but another powerful message from you. And this is just a reminder that God's timing is so perfect. You talked about you missed your meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
And so it just so happens, and I'm saying just so happens nonchalantly, but it really isn't a just so happen. God knew in advance that you were going to miss your meeting yesterday. So he made sure that had a makeup meeting. It wasn't the kind of meeting that you normally used
Okay.
to go into. It was just in a different place in a different format. And so he created a meeting for you today for you to, like you said, get some stuff off your chest. Because I'm sure when you're in your meetings, that's one of the things you have an opportunity to do this, to get some stuff off your chest. So you had an opportunity today to get some stuff off your chest, but you also, in getting that stuff off your chest, you had an opportunity to just cleanse as well as bless. You're blessing me. You're blessing me. So I know that somebody's going to be listening to this, that you're going to bless beyond the three of us. So I appreciate that. I appreciate and I just love God's favor on you and on your life because just like with Monica, he kept you around for a reason. Like I said, everything that you both have shared, all the studies, all the reports, all the statistics would have said you're not here to talk about it, but you're here. So why is that? And I say the answer to that question is
Exactly.
Okay.
because God said so. Because God's not done with you yet. Because God has purpose
What you
and
said.
assignments and tasks for you to do. And the fact that He has that for you to do, and the fact that the two of you both recognize that His grace, His mercies, and just how wonderful and awesome that He is, that makes it that much more impactful. So you're thanking me, I'm thanking you. Thanking you for just for blessing me, for blessing Monica, for blessing anybody that's listening to this, because people need to know that we're all one life changing, one job loss, one divorce, one mishap, one misstep in life from potentially being in the same situation that the two of you have been, or situations that I've been in. Nobody's immune from any of that, and so we can't get so high and mighty up on ourselves and start to think that we're you know immune to challenging and difficult
Nope.
times in life. We all gonna have something. The storms are gonna always come. It rains in on your street just like it rains on mine. So we
Okay.
have, but at the end of the day, we have to understand, which I believe that both of you ladies understand, and I hope others who listen to this podcast understand as well, is that when you're in the midst of the storm, you don't have to go through it alone. It's not a journey. You may feel alone sometimes. It may feel like you're in a lonely space, but you don't have to do this life alone. That there are people who God will place in your presence, that will love on you, that will support you, that you will encourage you, that will be there for you. And of course, God Himself He's always there. He's nonstop, 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can always reach out to Him and lean on Him for that strength and that comforting that you need. And I think it's also interesting too, Menendo, the one thing that you had made mention about earlier, and it's a shame that it's like this, but I love that you stood in your strength when you talked about how some people get mad when they see you start to recover from a thing that you've been going through, because they would much rather see you struggle and be dependent upon them
Come
than
on.
than to be
What
healthy
you
and surviving
said.
on your own 2 feet. It's like, I miss you begging from me, because I like to have that power over you to, for you to beg for this dollar, this $5, or for this favor or that favor. But something about
Oh,
you being independent and being able to stand upright, and like you said, I got time today. You can't talk to me like you used to think you could talk to me when I was struggling, when I was weak, when I was,
right.
not my 100%. But now that I'm feeling better about
Right.
myself, now that I'm loving myself again, now that I'm understanding my true value, a value that's always been there, but I forgot about that I had it. But now that I'm realizing it all over again, I'm here to let you know and the world know you're not getting ready to just do me any old kind of way. And you're not getting ready to throw in my face the stuff that I've been through, because if we pull your mask off and we peel back your skin, I'm sure you got some bones in
Mm-hmm.
your closet too. You
Mm-hmm.
Right.
just you just ain't told nobody yet. You just been keeping it under the
Yeah.
wraps.
Right.
But
You
you
got a
you got some
layer
stuff
onion.
too. So yeah, so so I appreciate
Yeah.
that strength. I mean, that's a beautiful thing, and it's to be respected and admired in you. Speaks volumes about your character and your integrity. So I love that. I love that you shared that. Ladies, and I know I said I was going to give you an opportunity to do this. If Menendo, and I'll start back with you, Menendo. If you had a chance to talk to the younger Menendo, when she was turning into when things were spiraling out of control, and things of that nature, and it was really just getting ready to start a whirlwind of just challenging days and nights and months and years. What words of advice or wisdom would you have to share with her, or anybody that was like who she was back then? Somebody that might be listening that's in this same cycle right now. What would be your few words of encouragement that you
Okay.
would have for that
Okay.
person?
I would say if a lot of you know what, that's I would love to say don't do it.
She frozen.
I think you froze up a little bit, but that's okay. We'll give you an opportunity to connect back in. But she's starting off saying, for those who are listening, her first thing would be don't do it. And I think that's quite natural to say don't do it. But the reality is that sometimes God will allow certain stuff to happen anyway. So I'll jump to you, Monica, while Menendo is working to get back on. you're talking to that young Monica and you're trying to
Um,
tell her, speak some words of wisdom into her, what would you say to her aside from the don't do it part? What would you build up on from that?
oh, definitely. I've had this conversation with myself. I would have stayed in school. I definitely wouldn't have, because that was my thing. Like she stated, started drinking in high school. Like I dibbled and dabbled and drank in high school, smoked a joint or two here and there. But I would have like, I probably would have went straight into college after high school instead of waiting those 2 years. And I would say education for me was the key because I know I would have had done something different with my life had I not paused and stuff. And then, like I said, when by the time I got down to school, I was already 20, so I felt I was grown. I had my own car, my own apartment, so you couldn't tell me nothing. I would have just wanted to, I would have probably went straight after at 18, lived in the dorm, got the full college life experience, and I'd probably be a different person today. So for me, it would be to stay in school. Definitely. Definitely for me. And of course, don't use, don't pick up. But I can't say that I mean, for this that whole experience for me, it was like a whole whirlwind. Like I was a whole nother person. Like I definitely know that wasn't the Monica my mother raised. Like she raised me the best she knew how, and I made those decisions on my own. So yeah, but I definitely, if how people say, would you change it if you could start over? Yes, I wouldn't have never picked up. Like I definitely would have been in different circles. It was like the environment too, different friends. No, because I had friends that didn't use, but I hung. I want the peer pressure, cool, want to fit in, and how that dope dealer lifestyle, and end up being a drug addict. So yeah, I
Mm.
probably would have education. It would be for me to educate, like stay in school.
And that's good that you bring up
That's what
education,
I would say to the young
but
mother.
but you broaden the perspective of education. You're not just talking about education in terms of getting a degree, but being educated enough to understand, like you said, choosing your friends wisely, choosing those circles wisely as to who you hang around with, and and
Exactly.
and not being drawn to the and it's harder to, it's easier said than done, but not being drawn to that peer pressure of wanting to be in a certain crowd amongst a certain group of folks. If these people are not in
And that
alignment with
lifestyle.
in that lifestyle, if they're not doing a lifestyle, if they're not in alignment in a way that is going to be healthy, is going to be productive for you, is going to be beneficial to you, then it doesn't matter that they go all to all the cool parties and have all this big crowd of friends or whatever. If it's not going to be healthy for me, it's not going to be a good thing. Then no, I'd rather have a smaller circle of people who gonna love on me and do
Yeah,
right by
because
me, who gonna hold me accountable. So go ahead.
I have friends that grew up like in my neighborhood that still went off to college or went to the service and you got to realize too, my mother took me out of that environment. Like I've been in Calumet City since 1986. Like I'm out here when I moved on our block, we were the first blacks on the block. So I like I said, if I could do it over, I would have went to college straight out. I would have went away to school straight out of high school, and I probably would have finished and got my degree. But now I did other things, so it is what it is. But like I say, God brought me through, and just like Menendo stated, like He never left us, we left Him. So I'm grateful to have that connection with the Lord. Like, and again, I don't go to church regularly, but I definitely the church I attend, you can always watch it online. So I definitely do that a lot. But I'm been saying to myself lately, I've been struggling with some things, so I'm definitely gonna be back in there this Sunday for sure. But I want to thank you for having me, and this is something that I've been interested in doing anyway. So when you brought the opportunity to me, I was like, yeah, because I want to get into stuff like this and like helping women to heal because I need to heal. Like I just could go on and just share my story because it's so many different parts of my story, and I also want to get into writing a book because I have a
Mm.
friend of mine and I already got the name of my book. It's called Crack Chronicles 1, 2,
Oh,
and 3. I
okay.
need you to know the beginning, the middle, and then how it turned out, because the first 5 years, I had took a hiatus for like 18 months. I didn't use from what is it? From July 15th, 1996 to February 5th, 1998. I didn't get high during that time. But I picked back up. So, and when you stop and pick up, it's worse.
Mm, mm,
But I'm
mm.
on the other side. And thank you again for having me. I appreciate you doing this. So
Well,
I'm gonna look
absolutely.
into this too podcast. It's something I look into.
Absolutely. And you're more than
I
welcome
don't know
to
what happened to Melinda.
that's okay. That's okay. The message she needed to get out today, if she doesn't get back on, the message she needed to get out today, she's gotten that out. And that's the goal here today. It's the same way with your message. You know, you were supposed to be cutting off sooner. And you know, God put a delay on the flight to keep you with us longer so you could not only share your story, but you can also hear the story. And this is all a healing process as well. So, you know, I thank you. It's my privilege, it's my honor that you are, you and Melinda had the opportunity to be on the show, and you talked about that book. I'm gonna just let you know now we're gonna speak that book into existence. That because we all have a story to tell,
Exactly.
and so I look forward to the day when you're announcing that book is prepared to come out, and you'll definitely be on the podcast again. We can talk about
Because
that book and
you
share
have
it.
one out as well, right?
Yes, yes, I have one out as well. Mine's
You
Blessings in the
have a book as
Streets.
well, right?
Yep, Blessings in the Streets is my book. And
Okay,
so,
just send me the information on where can I purchase that.
absolutely,
Is it on
absolutely.
Amazon?
You can. I have a website link that you can go
Okay.
to get it. So
Okay.
I'll send that information to you. And for anybody listening, if you're interested in the book, that's at
Okay.
blessingsinthestreets.com. And but yeah, I'll be more than happy to share that with you, and more than happy to have you on board when it's time to talk about your new book, and any other projects that you might be working on. Because I believe God is going to open up some doors for you to do the very thing that you're talking about doing, speaking opportunities to pour into groups of people who are going to need to hear your story and your journey and how you were able to arise from all of that. So again, thank you again, and I thank Menendo for being on the show. I'll talk to her offline since she wasn't able to jump back on. But just I want everybody to know here at the Blessings in the Street podcast, this is the place where your story is your glory, where your relationships are relevant, and where your journey is in your joy. I am your host, Joseph B. Roberts. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, be blessed, take care, and I look forward to seeing you.